Beers with Nigel. Nick is here.
I'm always here.
Chalonda White is here, a.k.a. Afro Beer Chick is in the house. Say hello to the people, as the guys on the drinking partner say. Say hello to the people.
Hello, my peoples. What's going on?
I gotta get me one of those glasses.
That's nice.
Yes, I'm actually getting ready to put my stash up on the website now since I'm not going to Fresh Fest.
Right.
Oh, wow.
You decided you're not going to go? You think they're going to cancel it?
We were talking yesterday, like in a Fresh Fest connection group, and everybody kind of put their input in. I think they may end up canceling. I'm not sure, but we're trying to see what the city was going to say because Pittsburgh hasn't shut anything, any of their major events down yet. But we were saying, like, from my perspective, I said I would like to see you guys do it bigger and better next year because even if the city does not shut it down, you have a lot of people who have been hit hard financially, and then
right.
This is still going around. The participation may be low, so it's like I'd rather for you to just hold off for next year, do it bigger and better next year, than struggle with just trying to get through it this year. So
that way I can still use my shirt.
But look, it's always about the T-shirt. Everything in life comes down to a good T-shirt.
Exactly.
For those who don't know, Afro Beer Chick is a beer ambassador, beer enthusiast, beer drinker, all around, just fabulous woman that I met. Yeah, I mean, I met you on Twitter, and then we met at Fresh Fest.
Yes.
And I tell you, anytime I wear your shirt, people are just like, where you get that shirt? Where you get that shirt? I'm like, AfroBeerChick.com, baby.
I gotta go order one of those.
I love it. Thank you.
Who came up with that logo?
You know what? It was my graphic designer. I was telling her what I wanted and what I was looking for. She's okay, well, I got you. And then, we tweaked it both a little bit, and I was like, man, this is it right here. And then from there, as you can see, I started like a series from there because she just keeps transforming to different things. So, yeah.
Well, look, you change over time. You can't be the same chick every shirt.
Right. So, yeah. So, I'm turning into like this little beer series going on, and I've been having so much fun with it. Right now, I'm on the 80s vibe one that I was going to actually release at Fresh Fest, but it's not going to happen.
Right.
You could release it on the Beers with Nigel show. We'd be okay with that. Hey, look, I'm excited. You are the guest that Nigel, when he first came to me with the idea of, hey, I want to talk about stuff. He pitched me. He said, there's somebody I met. She's in Chicago. We got to get her on. We got to talk to her. So now that we're at what is it? Is this episode 7? 6?
I think so.
Now that we're finally here, I'm excited.
Oh, wow.
Finally get to meet Chalonda.
You know what our plan was originally? We were going to take the train up there, kick it for the weekend, let you and your husband show us around, and we were going to do like a drunken show up there. But we can still do that. That was our plan. We had this whole master plan. We're like, we're going to go to Chicago. We're going to spend the weekend. We're going to kick it. We'll do a podcast. Drink some beers. So, as soon as this is over, we're still going to do that shit. So
that's just going to be part 2. This is going to be a 2-part episode.
Yeah.
Right. You have the quarantine version, then you're going to have the live version.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
I'm all for it.
So Afro Beer Chick. So let's talk some beer. What was your first, as you remember, because we go back and forth on this about when craft beer got the name craft, right? But from your recollection, what was your first thing that you would consider a craft beer?
Wait. So what was that question again?
What was the first thing that you drank that you considered a craft beer?
Okay, so of course it's not considered craft now because they've sold, but my very first craft beer was pictured Chicago, 2009. It was Sophie from Goose Island.
I mean, originally, they're kind of the original gangsters.
Yeah.
They were the first. Call them craft beer anymore?
Well, they were
because they sold to AV,
Yeah, but I feel like they're kind of grandfathered in. They get an emeritus status.
They get some hate because they're owned by InBev.
Well, right. Yeah. That's for me as being a Chicagoan. They're gonna get love from me because they were a Chicago OG in the craft beer industry. And then on top of that, it's like they still have some bangers. So it's like they still have bangers that people line up for. So it's like they didn't complete. And then here's the thing, though, and I try to get people to understand. I know how people feel. Oh my God, it's big beer and so whatever. But when it comes to like Goose Island, and I can't speak on any other brewery that have sold, they still have that small, brew culture. Because like when you go there, it's still like family. You know what I'm saying? And then they still trying to help out the community. They do. It's not like what you expect big beer to be. Now, yes, they have the money to have awesome parties, but however, the culture is still small beer as far as the breweries and hanging out.
Well, and product still matters, right? Like it's still good beer.
Some of it. I'm not gonna say all of it, but some of it.
Well,
so Chalonda, really, my man here is really, as I call him, a beer neophyte. He knows a little bit. He knows enough to be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I know enough to get drunk.
But I'm telling him, a Sophie, you can give me a Sophie anytime.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things if I'm flying and I have to stop through Chicago at the airport. Mm-hmm. There's always a Sophie in there. They got the little Goose Island tap room in there. I'm like, oh hell yeah, okay. But it's kind of like the Boulevard thing. Boulevard, got bought up, but they're still doing their thing though. So but people get mad because it's InBev. I know it's a touchy subject and shit, but I'm with you. They're still doing craft.
Yeah.
They just got more money.
They got money to play with. So it's like
right.
And here's the thing, it's like, here's the funny thing that kills me though. Excuse me. You have people who talk major shit about big beer, but these are very people who have PBR in their refrigerator and won't tell anybody about it.
Look, I'm always gonna brag about PBR. I'm sorry. There's something comforting. It's like the biscuits and gravy of beer, right? It's comfort food.
No,
it's safe.
No. And here's the thing. Ever since I started drinking craft beer, I have not had an MGD. I have not had a Heineken or a Corona. It's like if I'm out somewhere and that's all they have, I either get a cocktail or I get some water.
Yeah, I'm with you. And yeah, PBR. If I'm gonna go macro cheap ass beer, I'm gonna live the high life. I'm gonna go Miller High Life.
Look, you can never turn down the champagne of beers.
yeah, that's the champagne of beers, baby. Right.
And Nigel and I have a great bar down the street from us that keeps it in the 1950s fridge cooler.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a cocktail supplies, cocktails, but they also they got this great refrigerator that's from 1950 something, and he keeps Stag, Lone Star, PBR, just all these old school beers. You're like, yeah, I'll get a beer with a cocktail. Why not?
I will always have a soft spot for PBR. Can't help it.
I don't. And here's the thing, my grandmother used to work for like Miller's for like 40 years. And I remember as a kid, yes. And as a kid, once a month, she would always bring home like cases of Miller's for my uncles, for them to drink on. And even after she retired, that was part of her retirement package. Like why is she getting all this beer? Like, oh, what?
I'm like, what do I sign up for that retirement package? What the hell?
I had lots of friends from St. Louisville who would bring their parents, would bring home all the Budweiser stuff.
Chalonda, I'm gonna give you a heads up. Do not mention to Nick anything about St. Louis or pickles.
Wait, no, you have got to give me the backstory on that.
There's no context.
Go ahead.
There's
Nick.
no context. It's just, look, I am a nice, open person. I love almost everything in the world. I don't love pickles.
Okay.
And St. Louis is the home of the Devils.
He calls pickles the devil's food.
Well, see, here's the thing for me. I can't knock St. Louis. Even though
you're from Chicago, it should be easy.
No, the reason why. Let me tell you why I can't. Okay. I can't. I've never been to St. Louis for one. I've never been for one. And I was supposed to go.
We were almost going.
I was supposed to go, right? But I have my homegirl Libby down there. Libby is awesome, so I'm not gonna knock St. Louis, especially since I've never been.
I will amend it because I do like to be mean. It's just fun to abuse my friends in St. Louis. Look, if you can't abuse your friends, what are they there for? I will amend it to I don't like Cardinals fans and I don't like Anheuser-Busch beer.
Okay, well, I can understand that.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's a fair
So what's the Chicago beer scene like? Because I have no clue. I'm so interested to see what your take is on this is one of my favorite breweries. They come to a festival, just got canceled. Microphone.
Yeah.
You ever had them?
Yeah.
They kill it. But that's all I know about Chicago beer. What's the hot shit?
Chicago beer is magical. The beer scene is magical.
Shit.
Chicago. By the way, that's our next shirt. Chicago beer is magical.
Yeah, you can put that on the shirt with your logo. What the hell?
Chicago beer, it's something majestic about it, because what it is that, so when you come to Chicago, and people always ask me, oh my God, what brewery should I hit in Chicago? So my first question, no matter what part of Chicago are you going to be in? Because you got the north side, south side. We have 77 different neighborhoods in Chicago. Not just within the city limits. We're not talking about, and when you say Chicago land, that's when you're going out to the suburbs and you're going out to Northwest Indiana. But just within the city, you're going to get so many different vibes in different neighborhoods, and they all cater to the neighborhood that they're in. Like, for instance, I'm on the far northern point of Chicago. I'm in Rogers Park, which is across the street from Evanston, which is the suburb. And then right across the street from there, we have Eckes. And then I have Half Acre, which is one of my favorites, which is from them now.
I hear you talk about them.
Yeah, they have two different breweries, one on Lincoln and one on Balmoral. Balmoral is the one that's closest to me. I'm always there. And they're all different, but they all come together, to create something beautiful. So I love the collaborations. And I just had Hailstorm the other day when they collab with Phase 3. Now, Phase 3 is up in Lake Zurich, but Hailstorm is out in the south suburbs, which is where I'm originally from, in Tinley Park. So they came up with this pecan Russian Imperial Stout, and it's freaking amazing. So the beer scene here is so magical. So I have to tell you, what part of Chicago are you coming to? Because I can give you a list depending on, unless you're just going to get an Uber or rent a car and just kind of bounce all over the place.
Hey, I'm going to throw one at you. I'm going to throw one at you. My buddy, Daily Herald columnist Jake Griffin, just told me 3 Floyd's Zombie Dust is his favorite Chicago craft beer.
I used to live 11 minutes from 3 Floyd's. That's how far south I used to live, in the south suburbs. I used to always be there. Now you can get Zombie Dust damn near anywhere at any time. It used to only come out at a certain time of the year. Now you can get it whenever. Man, there's Dreadnought, and that's another thing. You gotta go check out 3 Floyd's when you're there. And their food is amazing. Their beer is great. They're great. They're the hoppy beers. If you want a hopped up beer, you want high on hops, that's 3 Floyd's. They're really, really good.
What's your favorite 2 or 3?
That's actually, which one is my favorite?
I'm gonna go. I know it's a hard question.
Oh, you've got a favorite.
In no particular order. In no particular order. You probably got. You're like, oh, this. If I come to town, you're like, I should go here first. What would you send me?
Okay, so definitely Revolution.
I've heard that. Yeah,
Marty Scott. Everybody over Revolution is amazing. Marty Scott is killing it with the Vera program over there. And when I was brewer of the day over there back in October, I don't understand. I don't see how he does his job sober. He has a job where he's tasting barrels. We're talking about 168 barrels. Marty, how do you stay sober doing this? He's killing it with the Vera program. Maplewood. Oh my God.
Yeah. We get some Maplewood down here actually.
And okay, so that third one is so hard because Half Acre is amazing, but then also so is Microphone. They're really good.
Yeah.
But then Phase 3 has made to me has made a big come up, because when Phase 3 first came out, and I always tell people, I don't care who get mad when I say this, because it's the truth. When they first came out, they made the same beer in a different can. It's okay, you guys are doing the hops or whatever. Yeah, but it's all your beer stays the same. They've gotten a lot better. Now, each beer is very distinctive, and they've been doing some things. And then you have Hop Butcher. Hop Butcher is amazing. Butcher? Yes. That's actually what I'm drinking. Hop Butcher.
And what style is that? What are you drinking?
This one is a double IPA.
Oh, you did say that, yeah.
Yeah, so they're really, really good. And then they have the stout called Fat Bear. It's a peanut butter stout. It's very well balanced. It's not super sweet, but it's, oh my God, like that third one is so hard because there's so many options.
I'm not trying to pick. Look, disclaimer to all these breweries: this is no particular order.
Well, it all depends on your mood too, right? You know, people come to Kansas City, they come to us, right? And they're, well, where should we go? What are your favorite barbecue joints? We go through the same thing where it's, well, it depends. What are you ordering?
Yeah.
Then I'll tell you where I'm going.
That's beer too, because
that's what I'm saying.
Somebody comes to the bar, I'm like, what's your style? You know, some people don't drink stouts. You know,
right?
So I'm gonna get them to drink something.
But then and they not even mention like Hubbard's Cave / Unani.
Okay.
So they're the same. Like they're 2-in-1. The Unani side is the wild ales. I'm not a big sour person, but they have some that's really good. So if you're huge on sours or wild ales, that's definitely. And so is Half Acre. They have a really good wild ale program. But then on the Hubbard's Cave side, they have like the IPAs, stouts. Like they have a strawberry chocolate pop de creme stout.
Oh.
Yes, but we can find those in stores now.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. They're in a 2-pack. It's gonna run you about $17 for a 2-pack, but they're really good.
You said a 2-pack?
A 2-pack.
Yeah. Oh yeah, y'all didn't know Chicago does 2-packs.
I never heard that shit before.
Oh man.
I know a 4-pack, a 2-pack.
I've not heard of 2-packs.
Okay, well yeah, Chicago, honey, we have two. When we have the special releases, certain beers, like for instance, I have a Maplewood cappuccino in my refrigerator now. Those were 2-packs, and those 2-packs were $17.99 each. So I bought 2.
Wow. What's the ABV on that beer?
I believe it's 10%. I didn't.
Okay. Now I'm cool with it. I'm cool with the price. I'm like, hold up, 2-pack. They ain't doing that shit here.
Yeah.
You know, we do what we do here. We do some of the breweries do 6. We do some 4s. There's.
But usually the cans are bigger if it's a 4-pack.
Growlers.
Yeah, we get these are 4s. They're bigger. You know.
But now with the COVIDs and shit, motherfuckers can't get no cans, and so I'll show you this can. Let me go grab it. This is what we're doing in Kansas City.
All of the microbrewers are just going crazy trying to order cans.
So now they've got this. It's a 25. What is that? 25. Yeah. 0.3 ounces or some shit.
Oh,
so
wow.
we call them stubbies. It's not quite a crowler, but it's because right now cans are hard to get.
Yeah, we have the growlers and the crowlers, but then we have like certain beers, the really high ABV stouts. They come in like 8-ounce cans.
I you know what? I saw that shit when I was in Pittsburgh. Like, I'm gonna need more than that.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's the beauty about that, and I respect that, because like when you get those higher ABV stouts and you don't want to open up a whole bomber, because especially if you drink by yourself, you're not gonna drink the whole thing. Well, I would, but a lot of people would drink it by themselves.
Not gonna drink the whole thing. Yes, I am.
I would, but I'm just saying.
Once it's open, you can't not drink it.
You have some people that pour it out. I don't understand, but I would.
Speaking of giant bottles. So a friend of mine had this restaurant down here, and she was really where we live. It's a suburb of Kansas City. She was the first craft person that had a cooler full of craft beer, because there were no really craft, 6-7 years ago or whatever. So she brought me these bottles. I think I posted them on Twitter. These 5-year-old bottles. So I gave Nick 2 of the bottles. So he gets to open one of those bottles today. And
I forgot to bring one out.
You're slipping, Nick.
I know. I'm dropping the ball. I'll have to run in and get one at some point.
So, Chalonda, I'm going to show you these 2 bottles. So this one is an anniversary ale from 2014 from Boulevard.
Oh yeah, we get those. We call them bombers.
Yeah, but they haven't made this one since, so it's weird. And then there's this one. This is an Imperial Stout from 2015 with tart cherry.
And Boulevard?
Boulevard. So I'm gonna guess this one probably will hold up. But they've been in her house she brought me like 9 bottles of these.
Dang.
Just gave them to me. I was like, okay, Nick, we're gonna get on the next podcast. You get the first one, the open one, because I haven't opened mine. I'm like, they may be good, they may be shitty. You never know. But Nick's gonna find out.
All you gotta do is try to find out.
I'll have to run it in a little bit and do a blind grab.
Well, normally what we do, I bring Nick beers in, we call them mystery beers, and I bring them to him in a brown paper bag, and then he gets to reveal them and taste them, and kind of get his tasting notes, if you will, which is always interesting because he'll come up with some words. I'm like, that's already a brewery word. He's like, it is. I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like,
sometimes it's eloquent. Most of the time, it's just a load of crap.
Hey, it's like whatever works, right?
Hey, look, right now, as much beer as I'm drinking, whatever works. So
whatever works.
I didn't even tell you what I'm drinking. I'm drinking a very local, some buddies of mine where I work. It's a Ruby Red Ale. What's it called? Ruby on Rails. American Red Ale.
You can tell the brewer is a computer nerd who came up with that name.
Why? What is that? Does that mean something?
Yes, that's a computer language.
Yeah.
Oh, it is? I didn't know that.
The best red ale that I've had, I would have to say, it was Petacola's Brewing Company from down in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, good.
So
good
one of my
Twitter
followers, Violet, she sent some up here back in January when her son came to visit home. And man, did I really enjoy that one. It was so good.
Yeah, I'm not really a red ale person, but these guys, they do a good job.
Do you have anything you don't like? I mean, I don't know that I've ever heard you say I don't like that one.
No. I would say that's not a style I would seek out, but that was the first beer they handed me when I got there, so.
You'll never forget your first beer.
He's not gonna turn it down.
You want a beer? No, I was bored today. I was like, I need to go see some motherfucking people, so I just got my car, went to my buddy's brewery. They normally brew on Sundays. They wasn't even up in there. So I went to the other brewery. They were all outside. I'm like, oh, let's go.
Man, beers. You ain't getting that in Chicago. You can't. Only thing you can get is curbside.
Well, it's when
Nigel wasn't necessarily following the rules.
Right.
Well, it's the brewery that I was working at one day a week. So
okay.
I knew they were up there brewing today. So if they're brewing, they're drinking. So I rolled up in there. What's up?
Remember like, me? I'm your friend.
I'd have brought man. I set you up for the show. You had no beer. I gave you some beer. You should be good to go.
Man. I miss the days when I could roll up into a brewery and just sit down and have a beer.
It's crazy. How you been dealing with it? Look, I see your liquor selection behind you. I know how you've been dealing.
Yes. Man, it's been crazy because it's like, okay, one thing I did learn, I love working from home. I'm more productive working from home than I am when I'm in the office.
Not this one. I'm terrible.
I'm okay with going in once or twice a week, but the whole concept of working from home, yes, I'm here for it. My daughter is kind of loving because that means I'm keeping more groceries in the house.
She hungry.
Like, I gotta actually go shopping. Keeping more liquor in the house. So it's been a trifecta. It's been well balanced of beer, booze, and food. So we've been having this trifecta going on. Yeah. It was like, okay, we need to keep this after the quarantine. I'm like,
yeah. Yeah.
But I will say this: the quarantine, and this is the first time my Afro has been out in a month. So yeah,
you said on Twitter you about to let it out.
I know.
I was gonna free the fro. I freed the fro for you guys.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
I will say this: the quarantine has been definitely teaching people some lessons because of the fact that over the years, and I was just telling this yesterday. I said I think I was the oldest one on the Zoom last night. I said I remember the days when we used to keep in touch with one another, person to person, and because of technology, we've been so distant. Now we're forced to keep in contact with people via social media and technology. Now we're missing that person-to-person contact. So hopefully that changes where we go back to checking up on our friends and seeing how they're doing in person. You know what I'm saying? So I do miss that aspect of it. And I told my friends, just the other day, I said, whoever's having parties, I promise you, I'm going to peel myself off the couch and actually show up and not tell you I'm going to come and then not show up.
Yeah. It gives you some damn perspective. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing though. I have way more beer in my frigidaire than I normally do. Because normally I don't drink at home. I drink it at the breweries, right? Mm-hmm. But now I'm like, I'm going to support local. So I'm just driving around town, just fucking buying beer. I got so much goddamn beer right now. It's so ridiculous. Like,
I've been making beer cocktails out of my extra beer. Like
I saw that on your Twitter. I was kind of hoping you were going to come with some recipes today.
Oh, I always see you until last time I would have told you. Like, yeah, I'm going to give you some recipes. And that's just stuff I be making off the top of my head. Like, oh, let me try this. Let me try this. Let me put this. Let me put this. So yeah.
I will say that my intake of beer and booze is way up during quarantine.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I'm just trying to support local. I'm not trying to look at my bank account because I know the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks, I'm buying beer. Like the other day, one of those breweries, they got a restaurant and they were doing 24 beers for $28. Wow. You think I didn't go over there and get them shits? Absolutely, I did.
Exactly.
Like I've been hitting breweries out of town. Like, hey, what's up? I want to support you guys. I cash app you for shipping and beer. Just like hit me up. I even tried that with Libby and a second chef. She's so hard headed. I sent her the money. She just let it sit. She wouldn't even accept it. So no, I'm gonna send it to her. So Libby, just let me support you guys. No, I'm just gonna send it to you. I'm like, I'm so hard headed. I said, well, fine. I'll donate your portion to a first responder or something.
Yeah. I mean, that's the hardest part about this. Most of my friends in service industry, them motherfuckers ain't working.
Yeah.
At least all my little service industry jobs, those were extra. I have a day job. So, but still, look, don't get it twisted. I'm missing that money I was making on the Friday, Saturday nights.
Well, and even the ones that are working, they're not. I mean, it's not the same. That income's not the same. No. Not even close.
But I don't know if you've seen on Twitter, Chalonda. One of my buddies is a brewery, Diametric. He came up with this idea to just do. It's almost like a brewer's farmers market. So every 2 weeks, it started out with 7 breweries. The third one was we're up to 17 breweries around Kansas City, and basically everybody orders online on that Thursday, and and you can come pick it up on Saturday's drive-through. So it's a whole day of people just coming picking it up. But it's kind of perfect because sometimes we wouldn't get to North Kansas City to get that beer. Yeah. So the fact it's all in a central location has been, a good.
Man, that's dope.
Yeah, they did last weekend 500 different orders.
Oh wow.
Yeah, almost 30 grand in beer. The 2 weeks before we hit 30 grand. So I'm like,
you're talking people are waiting 90 minutes, 2 hours.
Well, not
in line.
Yeah, the first time it was just we were like.
Well, the first couple times it was crazy.
The now it's like you're ordering ahead of time, so you just show up and your beer is already packaged and ready to go with your name on it.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's dope.
Only thing we're doing is handing it to you. But the beautiful thing is people are like, they get it. They tipping like crazy. It's very cool. I mean, I know a couple of my friends. They've come in the last month and they've dropped $1,200 just on beer.
Look, if I told y'all how much I spent on liquor this past since we started.
No, we're not admitting those. We're not admitting those things on this show. You keep that.
Look, we can't even see that liquor behind you. Your head is blocking. You're good.
And that's just what's on top. We're not even talking about what's under and then what's in the back room, the back bedroom that's not being used. It's like, damn.
Well, and the counties here lifted a lot of the rules, so now even your liquor places will deliver.
Yeah, same here. But I'm so far north. Nobody's coming this far north. I'm still assed out. Like I still have to go pick my stuff up. I mean, unless I can get Instacart does deliver liquor from Benny's. I will give them that. But Instacart is so booked up. It's like their next delivery date is like 2 weeks out.
Damn.
Wow,
that's serious.
So I was like, I might as well just go get it myself.
Right. So what got you into craft beer? What interested you? How young were you? How'd that start?
I was 30 years old. I was 30, and actually.
Oh, you were a late bloomer.
Yeah, I was a late bloomer. It was actually my husband that got me into craft beer because he was just getting into it, and he was the one who gave me the Sophie. We were at his place. This is like long before we had got married. And he's like, here, I have something I want you to taste. And I was like, what is it? He was like, it's just taste it. So I tasted it with Sophie, and he was like, it's beer. And I was like, this is not beer, because it poured like a champagne. It had some flavor, had the citrus. I was like, man, I'm digging this. And then ever since, like, whenever I would go to his place, he said, here, we'll try this and try this and try this. So for the longest time at first, I was stuck to Belgians. Like, I didn't like the stouts. I didn't like the IPAs. And my palate started to change over time. And then it's like, with him and his buddy has started out with Chicago Beer Geeks, I'm going with him to all these different beer events. I was like, dude, all I do is hang out with dudes and beer. I'm like, I need to find some more females that are into beer. So I came across Girls Pint Out. They had chapters across the states. Like, they were in multiple different cities. And I was like, hey, can I start one here in Chicago? And they allowed me to do that. I did that for a couple of years, and I stepped back because my girls were younger and they were in all kinds of shit. So they're taking up my money. But so now that I'm a semi-empty nester, it'll be 3 years ago in October, my coworker was like, you know what, you always talking about beer, and you know what you're talking about because I'm always listening to you. He said, you should do your own thing now. He's like, your kids are basically grown. What are you doing? I was like, yeah, you're right. So he was like, you know, you should call yourself Afro Beer Chick. I was like, dude, I'm feeling that. I'm so feeling that. So it kind of took off from there.
So what's the Chicago? I mean, we get into this conversation about diversity and inclusion. What's it like being a woman? Because I know you know Alana on 11.3KC on Twitter. We asked her, what's it like being a woman in a male-dominated industry? What's the experience been like for you?
It's hard as hell dealing with y'all.
No. She's not wrong. We're the worst.
Man, because you know what? And what it is that it's like for women, we're constantly having to prove ourselves. Like, hey, we know what we're doing. We know what we're talking about. And I think the hardest part is when you get a man who talks at you or talks down to you when it comes to beer. Like, I've gone into breweries and set up the bar by myself, and it's either the male bartender or the guy sitting next to me, oh, you'll like this because it has fruit in it. Dude, I don't want that shit. Give me a fucking IPA. What the hell? I don't want this. You know?
I got a train coming by. I need to mute y'all. So.
Like, I'm not worried about it, Nigel. I'm sitting outside today. It's too nice. It's too nice.
Yeah, so it's been real hard. Like, dude. But there, for the most part, there's been love. You know, I've gotten a lot of love from a lot of males saying, hey, we're here to support you. So it's been, you know, it teeters and totters every so often. Do you feel like you have to recruit more women to come with you? Do you feel like, hey, I'm the only one in here when you walk into a bar, a tap room? No, for me, and that's the thing, is like that's the beauty of, I'm glad my mom taught me. She's like, you got to be comfortable with going out by yourself. So like, if I see other women in a bar or a brewery, I let them do them. I go in and I have a beer or so, and I can do me. So it's like but if they come up to me and we talk about beer, then it's great. But I like kind of like everybody find their own way in a sense, you know? Right. Without being overbearing.
Man, a Cajun food truck just drove by my house. I'm kind of hoping it will stop.
Damn.
I think they're doing something down here. They're either done or they're getting ready to start. So,
nice.
So look, Chalonda, Nick and I, he lives walking distance where the hell I live. So, you know, he see all the shit.
He's on the porch like, he's like getting a little watch right now.
He's like, oh my God, I want some Cajun food right now. I'm with it. So as far as like dealing with, you know, we talk about this all the time. In Kansas City, I walk into a tap room. I'm generally the only brother.
Yeah.
Generally, most of the time. And then we had this conversation earlier at Diametric Brewing, where somebody was asking, they're like, do you ever see any, you know, we see it, there's a few women beer tenders at these breweries. Are there any brothers? I'm like, I don't think there's any in Kansas City, and I'm working at 2 breweries. What's it like in Chicago? What's the diversity like in these tap rooms?
You know, as far as the tap rooms, you'll come across some, you know, brothers every so often.
Okay.
don't come across too many women of color there. You know what I'm saying? You'll find, our counterparts, they're heavy, in rotation. But when it comes to like, you walk into a brewery, you may see a brother there, having a beer every so often, or you'll actually come in a brewery, you'll see them actually brewing a beer, because we do have a couple of breweries here that have black head brewers, which is dope, rather than just working in the bar. Yeah, like a Lulu, they have a black brewer. So that's dope. So it's like we're trying to get better, but we still have a ways to go.
What is that kind of beer community doing to make it better? I mean, and I don't even know what the causes, other than look, white men were the worst. But I mean, it's kind of true, Nigel. But I mean, so what are you guys doing? Because Nigel just talked about he's usually the only one in there. We don't see a lot. We're seeing more in Kansas City, more women. But I can't remember the last time I saw a woman of color in a bar.
Yeah.
Or in a beer bar.
Well, I think I think the first step, I've always said, the conversation has to be had. So it's always really dope when a brewery is willing to have the conversation and say, hey, what can we do? And my first step is, okay, outside of conversation, you need to actually implement it. So for instance, if you come across a young person of color who's interested in brewing, give them an opportunity. They may not know what they're doing right now, but if you give them a chance, to learn, who's to say that they won't learn at a later, as they go along. And I think when I talk to a lot of other people, young men who have told me, say, hey, ABC, I've gone for job interviews at breweries, at specific breweries, and I've had experience. They still won't hire me. That right there, that's the part that is very, very concerning. Because it's like, these are some of the same breweries that tell me, say, hey, we want to have a conversation with you. No, what you want to do is you want to treat it as a trend. And then once it's die out, you're good. No, I need to see action. If you have people of color coming to you looking for a job, and if you have a position, give them a chance.
Right.
Are there people leading that charge?
Dr. J is definitely leading that charge. She's trying to put it out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we have people who are trying. We just need more breweries to bite.
And I'm with you. That's part of the the conversation we have every episode. We're like, okay, whose responsibility is it? I think it's everybody's. Because like I said, I had that conversation 45 minutes ago at the brewery over there, and they were talking about their last hiring process because somebody was fussing at them because they didn't have a woman behind the bar. And he said, when we put out the all call to get applicants, they got 5 dudes and 2 women. Mm-hmm. And they were like, we wanted to hire a woman, so they hired a woman. They had, obviously, they had no people of color because where we live, we're in the suburb of Kansas City.
Right.
Ain't no brothers in beer out here. The people that I know that are black people that are in beer or in the city. But like we always talk about every episode, like where Boulevard is, where several of these breweries are, they're in the hood.
Yeah.
And I've talked to those brewers and be like, who comes in here? Because there's this one brewery, they do some really nice beer. It's called Alma Mater. We'll have to send you some. It's literally in a Hispanic black neighborhood. It really is. They're trying to gentrify it, but it's mostly still minority. And he's like, every once in a while, somebody will roll up in there, But he said for the most part, it's still just the beer community as a whole, the people who are in the know. And we always go back and forth. I don't think the beer industry is racist. I just don't think there's been if you don't know, you don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, right. I mean, there's overt racism, right? Right. And then there's.
Well, I don't think it's racism. I think when you open up a brewery and you're starting a business, that's you're as a brewer that you're probably thinking this is about the beer. Now some of those other breweries understand. Hey, okay, we need to diversify this shit. What do we need to do that? So, to your credit, after the shit you went through on Twitter, Alana put together that, I Am Craft Beer event here.
Right.
And, we had 100 people show up and
that's
good conversation. And, we had panelists and it was 2020 is going to be the year. Of course, now you really can't.
2020 is over with.
Does 2020 count for anything?
No.
So, but to your credit, that shit you went through, it spurred a lot of people around the country to do some shit, and if half the reason I'm in the business is because first off, my day job is this time to go. It's been 10 years.
10. Wait. Did he just say 10 years?
I've been on my day job for 10 years.
Yeah, but he can't leave. He does not have my permission to leave that job.
Oh,
I've been on my day job for 20.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
I'm on my third career.
And look, and I'm only 41.
Wow, damn. You started young.
He said 10 years.
That must be a good job. But no, secondly, I'm in it for the beer. And thirdly, I'm in it because I'm like, the community can do better.
Yeah.
I mean, you're missing money if you're not reaching out to some of these other communities that can be customers, but they don't know they should be customers yet.
A while ago, I called out for a lot of breweries to reach out to people of color who own these breweries and do collaborations with them. Because what happens is when you're doing these collaborations, you're bringing them into a community that will often overlook them. So
right.
If you do this collaboration and the beer is bomb, people are like, oh my God, who is this? Now you open them up to a whole new brewery that they would have overlooked, that a lot of people would have overlooked for specific reasons or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just give them an opportunity.
That's what I loved about Fresh Fest. They did all those collabs with those different people from around the city. I mean, literally, Nick, they did a collab with a city council person.
Yeah.
They stuck him with a brewery and said, hey, what do you think we should do? This person knows nothing about beer. So they collaborate, they come up with an idea, and they make that person brew the beer with them. And then they served it at Fresh Fest. It was so dope.
I was going to do that.
There were so many weird ass beers there.
No, but I mean, what a great way to force some. And this is the wrong word, but to force some integration in there, right?
Yeah.
To take people from different places and look, we're going to make you guys get together, and then that's just going to bring more audience, and the more audience you get in, then you're going to get more applicants, right? And you're going to get the people that are hiring to open their eyes a little bit to see more applicants.
I was going to deal with Second Shift. I was going to do a collab for this year. And that's why I was going to go down in April so we can get started. But
so one of the breweries here, it's the only female-owned brewery. It's called Service Brewing. We'll send. She kills it. We'll send you some beer.
You know, I'm going to open hers up right now.
Oh, you have one of those. Which one is that? Is that the
Tiramisu Rise Up?
Yeah.
Stout.
The tiramisu milk stout. So she does some lovely beers. So their anniversary hit during this bullshit, right?
Oh wow!
And so they had to do their anniversary all online. And
that's fantastic.
She kind of did the Fresh Fest thing. So she did all these collabs, but she did collabs with people in the city where the brewery is. So she kind of did that same thing. But yes, it's the only. So Kansas City has one female-owned brewery and two breweries with female-head brewers. So at least we got that. they might be brothers serving in the tap room. At least we got that shit.
Do you count yourself twice if you're a brother serving at two different tap rooms?
Yeah, I'm getting two texts, motherfucker.
We gotta get all the numbers we can.
Right. It's a census year, goddammit. I'm counting myself twice. So I got this beer.
I don't know if when we're talking to Chicago, do we talk about counting twice?
Oh.
This is what I just cracked. Tool Goliath. I'm trying to point it. I don't even know what the hell it is, to be honest with you. Okay, hold on. Did they make the writing even smaller than it used to be?
Well, you are old. Boy, this
You're rude.
That's a
Wait a minute. Why is Nick drinking beer straight out of the can? Where's your beer glass?
I was afraid if I brought it outside, I'd break a glass.
You're fired.
So this
We usually have fancy beer tasting glasses.
this is a smoky imperial coffee stout matured with bourbon oak chips.
Ooh. Yeah, I know how. Look, now you know. Nick doesn't know this, but Nigel, you've been on my page long enough to know how I feel about bourbon and beer. I have a thing to where if there's a beer that I don't exactly care for by itself, if my last resort is pouring it out, so I add bourbon to it.
I mean, I do that same shit.
What does bourbon not fix?
I know, right? Sometimes there have been a couple of beers that bourbon just did not help, and I just had to pour it out.
Oh, like you make one joke and Nigel has to break out fancy glass just to be cool.
No, homeboy. That glass is sitting right there on deck. Okay, you should always have glass.
I love it.
Sir.
Nah, I'm not taking chances. I brought all the gear outside. I'm not.
You could have brought a glass out there, man. Really? You need to go. You need to go get that one beer though. You tripping?
All right, I'll get
that was the rule. You had to open at least one of those on this podcast.
All right.
Oh wow.
This is why we do video, Chalonda, because that way, because listening to it is one thing, seeing us do it is a whole different experience.
I agree.
Listening to us is bad enough. Watching us is even worse.
That's why I haven't put mine on video yet, because I'm on the floor recording, and sometimes it's hard for me to get back up after I've been drinking.
But you know what? That's a layer of the show we want to see. Goddamn it!
I don't know about that one.
We did.
We've had a few in our studio when we usually, pre-COVID when we had studio time.
Yeah. So the last episode we did a Zoom, and we had like 25 people on there.
That's cool.
My dumb ass, I'm like, let's open up all the mics at first and let's see what happens.
And then we did it again at the end.
We didn't know when the show began or ended. It was fun, but it was super weird.
It was basically a virtual taproom episode.
It really was. It was the virtual taproom.
It was
what I'm talking about.
Think of your favorite, really small taproom bar where everybody's crowded in and sounds bouncing off all the brick walls. That was our Zoom call.
Yep.
That sounds lit. I wish I could have done it there for that one.
Well, the next time we do one, because obviously that's all we can do right now.
Right.
We will send you the invite. Because it's funny. It was funny today. I was at Diametric and I was telling them, I gotta go to the house and do this podcast. They're like, "Who's the guest?" I said, "Afro Beer Chick." They're like, "Oh shit, for real?"
Really? What?
Oh no! You got some love here in Kansas City.
Oh wow, that's amazing. That's so funny.
Kansas City, you really do.
It's so funny and there was one point where I was my husband's plus one to these different events, and now it's like he kind of turned to my plus one. So we were standing there, and he was like, "Oh my God, you're Afro Beer Chick." Like, it's kind of weird. Like, yeah, I am. And I always tell people, if you see me, please stop by and say hi, because I'm not fun checking at all. But it's like it's still kind of weird at times.
So isn't your husband in beer somehow? I want to say, is he a writer?
He has a blog called Chicago Beer Geeks, and then he has a podcast with his buddy called Chicago Beer Pass.
Chicago. Okay, cool. What's his history in craft beer? I remember your first podcast episode. You had him on there, and I was like, "Oh shit, he's a beer guy too." It's a very cool story.
Yeah. We it was so funny because he started around 2009ish. And his segue was so funny because Argus, which is in the south side of Chicago, which is now closed because of everything that's been going on. I went to my first beer event without him to that brewery, and then I came back and told him about Argus, and that kind of opened up the whole thing. He started hanging out with the Argus guys, and then started bouncing around to different breweries. So we kind of in a sense started it together, but he gave me my first crack.
That's very cool. What's his favorite style of beer?
He is heavy into bourbon barrel aged stouts.
A man after my own heart.
I would say that's his jam. I mean, he likes them all, but if I was to say, I would say bourbon barrel aged is his jam.
Yeah.
So like you guys have to come up. I'm sure. I know we're not having it this year, but next year you got to come. You got to do Faux Bab. Have you
What
been
is
to
it?
Faux Bab? Faux Bab Festival of Bourbon Barrel Aged Beers.
What?
Whoa!
How do you guys have not heard about Faux Bab?
I've never heard of it.
I don't know,
Oh
but I
my
want to
God.
book a ticket now.
They have it every year. They usually have 4 sessions. 2 on Fridays and 2 on Saturdays.
Wow.
And it's different barrel aged. I mean, it's not just barrel aged beers, but they have like a sour room and we have some IPAs there. But for the most part, 90% of it is barrel aged beers. It's a huge festival around sometime in November, every year here in Chicago.
It sounds amazing.
That's
Right before the COVID-19 hit, I went to New York for the other half brewing. They put on that pastry town. Pastry styles, pastries, and wrestling. That shit was lit. It was so ridiculous.
The best part of that is the tag at the end, and wrestling.
And wrestling. so like every 30 minutes, they had this ring upstairs. It was so ridiculous. It was in this building. It was 2 levels, and it was like 90 breweries, and then they had a wrestling ring, and it was legitimate, and they would throw pastries, and it was so ridiculous.
I want to know what that meeting was like at the end. We're like, guys, this festival sounds great, but we need one more thing to add to it. Wrestling.
Dude, when's the last time you watched live wrestling? It's
College, so 1990.
Not that bullshit. You talking about college wrestling? I'm talking about
no. That's probably when I watched pro wrestling.
That shit is entertaining live.
I want to say, let's see, how old is my youngest? She's 15. So I would say about 13 years ago, because her dad and I used to go see WWE often.
I bet I haven't watched it since late 90s.
So just imagine you get to drink and watch. Shh, come on.
Oh wow,
that shit was legitimate.
That sounds like fun.
It was so ridiculous, and I met so many cool people up there. I had no idea. Like the Brooklyn beer scene it's fucking legit.
Did you see? His name is Pastor Hops on IG, but he was at Fresh Fest because he was my syndicate house member. We had to a kick-ass bottle share at our Airbnb.
I wish I'd have known y'all was doing that. Oh my!
We didn't know we were doing that until like the last minute.
So the house, you mean?
Yeah, we were in the spirit, like, hey, y'all want to have a party tonight? He was like, yeah, okay, cool. And then one of the house members kind of put it out, and then we went to the store, we went to go grab some supplies. We didn't expect for it to be as big as it turned out. People are still talking about that bottle share.
But question for you though, because all you guys were in this house, did y'all know each other? How did this even happen?
No, we didn't know each other.
I was like, I missed it. So Nick, they go to Fresh Fest, they get together in a group. How many people were in that house?
Like 8 of us. And
they had never met each other, and they're in this house for Fresh Fest. I'm like, I missed that shit. I had a great time, but I needed that.
Yeah, it was just so funny because like people say, somebody had asked a question, hey, y'all want to rent a house? And it was okay. So a lot of us, we jumped on, so we started our own little IG conversation.
Right.
And we kind of took it from there. And ever since, we've been like this. Like, we didn't know each other. Like, we followed each other on IG, but we didn't know each other personally.
Right.
We had never talked, on the phone or anything.
Right.
After Fresh Fest, we left as family. Like, I love those guys.
No, I met so many people there. It's so ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, this is what I need to be doing.
You hear a lot of people downplay Twitter these days, but that's not true if you're in if you're beer scene, if you're a sports
Twitter.
Writer or a sports fan. Those things seem to like
Twitter.
Is where Twitter still is. I still am just shocked every time I go on Twitter now, and I'm like, all these beer people, they all know each other all over the place.
No, I love beer Twitter. Beer Twitter's lit. Now, I
and
will say,
it's funny as shit.
Beer Twitter is very protective too. If you cross somebody on beer Twitter, they coming after you. I love it.
Yeah, it's not a game out there. it's
real.
Rona.
It
Are you
is
still
really.
drinking? Are you still drinking the same beer?
I'm getting ready to run in, and I'm gonna go grab the bottle.
Yeah, we got to lose a taste test on one bottle, though. Come on, man. Look at that fancy profile picture.
I know, right?
Now we're gonna talk shit on him. Yeah. So Nick, about that picture.
So what's up?
Somebody was
I was
asking
like,
me
it's a senior picture.
Not this year.
Right?
Look, my daughter's a senior this year. That shit is
Oh
over.
no!
Yeah, but you know what? It was perfect for her because she does not give a fuck. She was like, she's been talking about going to college for the last year and a half. She's like, I'm ready to go to college. I'm done with these high school people. She's like, I'm over these people.
Oh
They're
wow!
So, but she's good with it. She's funny. She is totally fine with it. So they're going to do they're going to try to do a graduation in July if they can manage it. But there's another school district on the Kansas side. They're doing like a virtual graduation where you can it's on site. You can have 7 people there. It's like social distancing graduation. So they'll do one for 15 minutes. They leave, and then they bring somebody else in. It's going to take 24 hours to do this shit, probably.
Oh wow! No! Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
I told my daughter, I said, I'm kind of glad you're not graduating. I'm glad she's not a senior this year. Like dude, I want to do that. I want to do all the things with her.
Right. So my daughter, she's like, well, how much? I'm graduate. It's a couple weeks away. She's like, how much money am I getting?
I love that. She's like, look, and I'm going to turn the negative into a positive.
Yeah, she's like, where's that? Where them dollars at? She's like,
she's about to tap into your beer budget. You just don't
know what?
what.
It's funny. She just started following me on Twitter.
Ooh.
She's
no.
No, she's 18, so I literally, when we went to Dallas about 3 months ago, and so my mom, my family lives down there. I'm like, well, there was a couple of beer events. I'm like, you coming with me? And she was like, ooh, I said, when you get older, you might develop a taste for beer, but you don't need to have a taste of beer right now. You're fine.
That was a rough open.
That was a rough open?
That was a rough open.
Did it blow up on you?
Almost.
Oh.
Which one did you get?
So I did a blind grab. And this is the anniversary ale.
Okay,
from Boulevard.
Did you at least stick it in the Frigidaire?
I did.
Okay, good. Because them shits was hot when I got them. They've been hot for 5 years.
That's what I kind of got that feeling when I picked that up. I'm like, oh, I bet this has not been chilled.
Them shits when I got them shits last weekend, they were all dusty.
Oh no! I brought it home and wiped it down. Little end dust, Chisel, get through that.
That is too funny. What's it doing? Can we see a representation of what it's doing? Oh, that doesn't look bad.
No. I've been letting it sit a little bit.
What does it smell like? You even got a Boulevard glass. Look at you, fancy pants.
Smokestack series glass.
Okay, and that's the
anniversary ale.
Oh, the silver.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Let's see what happens. When
you look a little worried for me.
Well, I got 2 bottles down here. That's what I need to know.
You know what? Here's the thing: I'm not catching much of anything in the smell.
Wait, give me time to open up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not great, Bob.
He's like, nope.
That didn't hold up well.
You know what that means? You got to chug it.
Yeah, that ain't happening. With the bottle's still going. It's still fizzing over.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to move that away from my. That's a little close to the soundboard.
Yeah. Well, my beer is quite lovely, so there's that.
I'm gonna switch back to the service because that's a fantastic beer.
Yeah, that's it.
That milk stout is amazing.
Yeah. She's judging you right now with her eyes. She's like, where's your motherfucker?
I'm just like,
look, that glass is tainted now.
You can
get another glass out.
I've never met anybody so anti-can.
It's not. It's not that I am anti-can. I just think that maybe this is where the snob part of me comes out. We leave the can drinking for the PBRs.
Look, I'm from Southwest Missouri.
And then we pour into a glass with the better beer, so it can open up and you can taste the flavor.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, we make the local characters from the show Ozark look sophisticated.
Nick, you're fired. I think I fired you like 5 times already.
Look, we can't fire him. He's a reclamation project.
Oh, and it's so funny because I work for the reclamation here.
Perfect. It's perfect. Yes, indeed. Are you done?
I do feel the judge every time I pick up this can. I can like feel the eye lasers.
Yeah, that's too nice. That's too nice of a beer to be drinking out of a can. To be honest with you, just keeping it real.
Yeah, that's the side eye right there.
Courtney Service would be horrified.
Well, I do not want to.
That's the brewer. Yeah, you wouldn't like her when she's angry.
I don't like much of anybody being angry at me.
No, we're not.
Actually, that's not true. My other shows, I like to make people angry.
So, Chalonda, what for those who are uninitiated to Chicago? We talked about Chicago beer scene. What's other things to do in Chicago that you would like? There's probably some food shit there that I don't even know about.
Man, Chicago's a food city.
Is it really? Is it considered a food city?
It is very. How did you not know that?
I mean, I know like pizza. No,
Chicago is a food city. And the reason, and that's not me just saying that, but that's well known. Like, we have more than just pizza. We have different cuisines because of the fact that we are so diverse. Like, for instance, where I live at in Rogers Park alone, we have this probably the most diverse area of Chicago. So, like, if I walk down one side of the street, I can hit an Ethiopian and a Jamaican and an Italian restaurant. And then if I go on this side, I can hit up the Indian spot. You know what I'm saying? So, we're very diverse here. So, it's a food city because you can get some of everything here.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when I went to New York, when I was in Brooklyn, I'm like, there is everything up in this bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, from one block to the next, it would be Latino, it'd be Black, it would be Jewish. At one point, we went to this one spot, because there's Hasidic Jews, the ones with the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's all types of those.
Yeah.
Because there was some at the motherfucking bar.
Just west of me in Westridge, well, they call it West Rogers Park, but Westridge, that's all Hasidic Jews. So even the stores over there, like if you go to Mariano's or Walmart, they have a whole kosher section to, for them. So I tend to shop over there better because they have better quality for them. So it's like I go over there myself.
This part of the country is on some bullshit because we ain't got none of that. We got some Amish out here.
We got those too.
If you know where to go, you can find some, authentic Hispanic foods.
Man, we have so
many. I mean, here to an extent, but come on, man.
No, it's not like the bigger cities where you really have like whole neighborhoods that are generations of a culture.
Unless you go down to the Southwest Boulevard, that's where all the Mexican restaurants are.
Right, KCK.
But those are real Mexican restaurants, not the shit.
We have one here in our suburb. One.
Yeah.
We have whole neighborhoods that are Hispanic, and then even where I live at now, we have a very huge Hispanic community. Like we have some of the best tacos, street tacos. Oh God, yes. And then before COVID-19, and that's what I'm really pissed off about because before COVID-19, so there's a school right across the street, this busy street for me. And then there's a little Hispanic lady who stands right here on this corner from where I live at, and she sells the best elotes, the Mexican street corn. Oh. And she's she hasn't been out there. Yeah, it's so good. And it's only like $2.
Nick said he's about to have a moment. Turn off your video.
Look, there's something beautiful about authentic street food.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm loving
Look, you're
it.
from New Orleans, man. You know.
I am not from New Orleans. I used to live in New Orleans. I love my food though.
Yeah, but I don't like to count the state you're from.
You give me some so Chalonda. My mother's Jamaican. My
Ooh.
father's. So you catch me some. When I was in Brooklyn. We found this place. I swear my mother was back there cooking that Jamaican food. I had like some oxtail and some shit like that. I had some straight up Jamaican shit.
Yeah, we have a spot like that on Howard Street, just like 2 blocks north of me. And when you walk in there, they get, oh my God, it's like, actually they're from straight up Jamaica. Their sauce, their chicken. Yeah. It's like, man, yes, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
You know, now I want some and I cook dinner.
I feel like I've got about 6 or 7 great quotes out of this show.
Like Chicago beer is magical. From that one.
Absolutely. You need to put that on the shirt. I'm telling you, with your logo, you need to write that shit down. You know how many people buy that shirt? Chicago beer is magical with your logo.
Sweet. I love the shirt you got on too. That shirt is great tonight.
Oh, this is actually from Beer Babe Jess. So she's here in Chicago as well. So yeah, this is her shirt. So yeah, shouts out to Jess, Jessica Merritt.
No, we're gonna send you some beer so you can get that Kansas City flavor.
Well, I'm all for it. I love getting beer now.
Half the magic.
I've sent the beer to people I've met on Twitter, just the beer people, and I'm like, you ain't gotta send me shit back. I mean, I don't give a fuck. I've got enough beer in there to put together orders like I'm a brewery.
Well,
all of a sudden he's gonna have his own table set up at the next market.
I would gladly accept. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, when I buy like a 6 or a 4, I might want one, but the rest of them, I'm like, I need to share that shit. I'm not trying to hoard. These beer people like to hoard. I'm not a hoarder. I'm a drinker. God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm here to drink the beers. I'm not trying to save it. I think I've got one beer, and I'm not even sure why the hell I'm saving it, but it's over there.
See, that's the thing. Like, I tried to. That was my downfall. Like, so have you follow Black Beer Travelers?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so Brandon, he's another one of my syndicate brothers.
Yeah.
So Brandon has sent me some beers from Pure Project. Oh my God, love their beers.
Yeah.
So I was trying to hold it down because I was gonna, I was trying to hold it down for Fresh Fest, and we do a bottle share. Like, hey, got this. Shit, I'm cracking them beers. I'm cracking one open tonight.
I mean,
like, ain't no homo.
This is the times we live in. I got a friend of mine, Stephanie. Shout out to Stephanie. Her refrigerator has no food. It's all beer. And if she's got a room, she's a marathon runner. It's medals and beer. And I'm like, you need to stay. So this is happening. She's actually getting into drinking those beers. I'm like, what are you saving them for? They're going to be terrible. So she's finally. So that's what everybody's doing.
I have a friend I have a coworker. The guy who gave me helped me with my name. He lives in Brownstone in Chicago. His cellar is the length of the Brownstone. And his beers is wall to wall beers.
Yeah,
like, dude,
those guys.
Why are you for me, I'm not a seller. I don't it's hard for me to keep beers. Soon as I get them, I want to drink them.
I'm the same with booze though too. It's like I don't want to hold on to it. I want to drink it.
I
want to have my friends over and we're all gonna drink it. Well, we don't have our friends over anymore, but
Right. So it's like,
I might have cheated on the social distancing a couple of times. Like
today.
I might have 2 or 3 people up in here. Chalonda, what's your go-to liquor? Because you're a liquor girl too, so I'm very interested.
We already covered this, didn't we?
No, go-to. What's your go-to?
Uncle Nearest whiskey.
Who?
Uncle Nearest.
That is so good. I just tried that in the last 6 months. Just tried that. It is amazing.
How did you not? Oh yeah, Uncle Nearest. It's black owned by a black woman. Uncle Nearest was a slave who actually taught Jim Beam how to distill whiskey.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Yeah. So
where'd you get that, Nick? Where the fuck did you get that? Is that here?
Seth at Libations, and he just toured.
Really?
Yeah. He just did the tour in February.
He's holding out. That's what's going on.
Oh, that is good stuff. He'll deliver it to your door, man.
Very smooth. I really enjoy it. So I try to keep that. That's a staple on my bar.
So Chalonda, just he talking about quotes from the show. He hit me up the other day. He said, "What are some good quotes from the show?" And one of his favorite ones is, "I like bourbon."
That's your favorite.
Yeah, but he has his bourbon shirt on. I see.
He just made that shit.
Bourbon
he just
stout.
made that shit at his house.
I just made this today.
Oh wow!
We need to send Chalonda one of those, please.
All right. Well,
yes, I'm all for it.
We will make you a
what
shirt.
size you need? I'm gonna make this happen.
I'm like a 3. Well, if it's a male shirt, like 2X, 3X. I like my shirt
Okay,
big.
so yeah, we're gonna send you some beer and a shirt.
There we go.
Yes, loving it.
We'll probably throw 2 shirts in. We'll need to make our Beers with Nigel shirt.
Oh, maybe I'll send you one of these. I got this right here. Check this out.
Oh, she needs one of those. This is awesome.
Yeah.
What shirt is that?
Uh-oh.
You got to flip it around, man. It's a plain shirt.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So one of our friends, they do graphic designs and shit, and this shit has hit them as well. And so they're like, what can we do? So basically they're doing shirts, stickers, hats, and a percentage of what they sell is going to people in the service industry.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Like even like I've been able to feel like, well, I don't keep shirts on stock here because I have a manufacturer that does that, but I just got hit with the email that they're starting back up. So like they've started back up. So like when people process orders, like even my shirt profits from there, I've been like donating them for people who I know who've been hit hard. Like they're just trying to make it to the next day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm trying, you can't save the world, but you can at least help it.
Yeah. No, but you can make it better one day at a time.
So if people want to get your merch, tell them where they get it at.
AfroBeerChick.com.
Look, and if y'all ain't got an Afro Beer Chick shirt or some sticker, motherfucking
and if you want to hear her talk, she's got her own show too.
Yes, I'll be up talking shit come next week. I will say this. That's another thing. I actually wanted to get on like my Twitter account and talk about it. Like mental health is important because this shit will have you freaking depressed.
Fucked up.
This shit is hard, man. And
my Friday night,
be okay with that.
Weird. My Friday night, Chalonda, you have to understand where I live. There's a brewery right next door to me. My homeboy's brewery. I can walk down my stairs and walk in the side door and get a beer. Not right now. So the downtown area that I live at, it's 7 p.m. like tonight, 6 p.m. It's a wrap. Yeah. The only thing I'm gonna hear is this train coming down the street.
We shouldn't be able to hear you talk right now.
Yeah, I can yell. He might be yelling because I'm about to die. No, mental health. You're exactly right. I mean,
this is depressing.
This got some people fucked up.
Check on your peoples. It's just, and it's so hard because it's like I try to. Social media will have you pissed off because you go on Facebook, you have the Facebook conspiracy theorists. They piss you off. Then you're stuck in the house. You can't go anywhere. And I feel sorry for my people. I love them to death, but who are stuck with kids under 5.
Kill me now. I couldn't do it.
No,
I don't know about y'all. I couldn't fucking do it. There's no way.
Some of my other I have some other podcasts, and some of those I've talked to had some mental health people on, and they've talked about it. You've got to let yourself be okay with saying this shit is hard. Yeah. And let yourself have a day, and you don't have to have the same productivity level that you have when you go to your job. It's okay to say, you know what, today you get 10% effort.
Yeah. And it's like,
it's hard.
It's hard. And then like for me, like it terrifies me because like I have lupus. So it's like a lot of the symptoms that I get in just a flare up mimics that of COVID-19. So it's like, shit, damn, did I get this? Or this is a flare up or what? So it's like you're freaking out because you don't know what it is. I can't wait till this shit is over.
Unfortunately, we have no idea how this is going to play out.
No.
Well, and that's part of why it's hard, is right? Just there's so much we don't know.
So I keep telling. I had this conversation last night. I was high as fuck because I do get high. and sometimes you have those clarity moments. I was like, you know what? We're on this goddamn spinning ball. They keep zooming out. They keep zooming out, and they look. Oh, this is the Earth. This is the universe. So, you know, ultimately, when it comes down to it, we're lucky as fuck. Because we don't know. Look, you think you know, you don't know.
I have no idea.
But you know what? We can still drink beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Breweries are essential.
Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are. I agree.
So we appreciate.
I just caught that side eye again. Damn it!
You got the side eye from
Damn it!
Yeah. You and your.
Hey, hold on.
No. Too late. I already know you did it.
Hey, but we appreciate you doing this. I don't know how.
Thank you, guys.
You know what? It's been.
We stopped trying to time these episodes.
Yeah,
That's the fun.
Yeah, we really don't even time it. We're like, what the? How long is it gone? No, just keep going. It's fine.
Yeah, the fun of it. Yeah, the fun of it is just like, okay, you just kind of go with the flow of it.
But really, the podcast I listen to on a consistent basis, and I don't give a fuck. And I know they go an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. It's like drinking partners.
Yeah.
I just, it goes so quick. I'm like, oh, that shit's over. And it's right. And even when I don't know, do you listen to your own after you do it?
No, not really, because I'm always drunk, and then it's like I'm like, what the hell was I talking about? I'm like, forget it. That's why I said when I record, because I'm on there by myself, unless Nick, hop on, and he kind of lets me do my own thing. So when I'm doing it by myself, I try to keep it under 30 minutes. So it's like, and I tell people, what you hear is what you get. I don't edit shit. You may hear my kid call my name. You may hear the dog bark. It is what it is. And then it's like, a couple of times I did go back and listen. I'm like, I was drunk as hell. What was I talking about? Well, whatever. But apparently people like it, so we keep doing it.
But you know what, though? Yeah, you're entertaining, though. That's what I love. I love to go back, and I'm like, I know I said some weird-ass shit. Oh, shit, I said that?
Right.
So, no. I think you should go longer. I'm just saying.
Oh man, I'd be really lit on the floor. Like
that's what I'm saying.
I have to do the video version. Like, look, y'all. Let me tell y'all.
Yeah.
Well, you just saved the second hour for your Patreon fans. That's bonus material.
The uncut version.
That's the director's cut.
So that way y'all can get an insight just how crazy I really am.
Welcome to our world.
Nigel doesn't hold anything back.
No, I mean it's a perfect platform.
Yeah.
And the response I get, people, they're like, I don't think I'm talking anything that's fucking highbrow, but people are like, oh my God, that was such a poignant conversation. I'm like, you really said poignant? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Look, people ask me like, what are you guys doing? What is Nigel doing with this show? I don't know. We're having a show, like we hang out in the bar.
Look, we cracked up today. We laughed today because I'm like, okay, what's the release schedule? I'm like, I have no idea. I said, when Nick gets done with the audio part, that's when I throw the video part out. I'm like, we don't even talk about it. He might post some shit. I'm like, well, he posted that 2 days ago. I should probably post a video.
There you go. Same.
But he got shit to do, so I'm not. It's fine. It's fine.
I don't know. I may do some lip sync battle later on after I have a couple more beers and do it on StreamYard. That way I can stream it to Twitter too, so people can see it as we're doing it.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm down. Yeah, I'm ready for a karaoke fucking like Zoom and shit because that's my I'm a karaoke cat.
Yeah, that's what I think we'll do tonight.
Do some Prince.
That needs to be an upcoming episode.
Throw off the white people. I do some Van Halen. Look,
I don't know what you're talking about. You can't scare us.
I'll do some Kenny Chesney on your ass. Look,
you know what? He needs a black guy to do some of his stuff.
There you go.
It might improve things.
Look, Chalonda, I'll fuck around. I got a couple house tunes in my back pocket. Little Chicago house. Gotta have a house.
Yeah, you gotta get raunchy with it though. That's the thing. You gotta get raunchy with it.
The last time I came to Chicago was in the 90s, and we ended up. It might be too soon. We ended up on an R. Kelly video shoot.
Wow.
And then we went to this.
I have
Wow.
many questions.
Went to this club. Downstairs was R&B. Upstairs was house. And I was like, I'm going upstairs. Fuck that. I love me some Chicago house. Most people don't know anything about it. What you know about that, Nick?
Nothing.
Yeah. We got nothing.
Wait, so which means I'm surprised that you haven't been to the Chosen Few picnic.
The what?
The Chosen Few picnic. It's a big house picnic every year in Chicago.
Where's it at?
It's like on 63rd and South Shore Drive. It's on the south side of Chicago.
I have not.
It's
When
huge
does that
every year. It usually happens the weekend after 4th of July, which I don't think is gonna happen.
Maybe it's gonna happen this year. Maybe.
No, it ain't happening because they already shut down all they. The governor was like,
really?
nope, no large events this year.
Yeah,
So
the
next year.
state said no big festivals, right?
Yeah, the governor
year.
shut it down. Yeah, he said that's it.
Yeah, I feel, this was the first year I hadn't been to Mardi Gras in like 12 years.
Wow.
But all them other festivals, Jazz Fest, fucking French Quarter Fest, they moved all that shit. I'm like,
yeah.
But what can at least I got to that beer festival in New York before this shit jumped off. I was in the hot spot.
Look, I love New Orleans, but I mean let's be fair here. It was already a little bit of a risk health wise.
Here we go. This is because you don't know anything about New Orleans, sir.
Knowledge.
Yeah. You think French Quarter? No. That's one percent of the city.
Yeah, I know the French Quarter and some other place I got lost once, but I don't remember a whole lot of it.
It was probably the French Quarter.
I don't know, there was a car ride somewhere, and then I don't remember a lot.
You probably had a hand grenade, didn't you? Nah. On Bourbon Street, one of them hand grenades. Mm-hmm. You look like the hand grenade type.
I don't remember that particular drink, but I don't say no to many drinks.
That's my point. You don't remember it.
I mean, there aren't many things I say no to. Nobody offered me pickles.
Chalonda, have you been to New Orleans?
I have.
What is your interpretation of it?
You know what? I went with, I had a classmate from college who, she was from there, so she took me home, and of course, you get to see the French Quarter, but I got to see, a lot of the other parishes that, get overlooked because we were partying, with our family, and I had a great time.
Yeah, because people think it's just French Quarter. They're wrong.
Nah, it's so many different other, neighborhoods that you get to, go and experience. So I had a great time. I take people every year, new people. I'm like, you get one shot at the French Quarter. One shot. We're going to go to Emerald's restaurant called Nola. It's 2 blocks from the French Quarter. We're going to walk to Bourbon. You're going to look right. You're going to look left and see that shit show. And we're leaving. I'm like, I lived there and I never went there. Mm. The only people who went there was tourists. Well, that's just like here in Chicago. It's like people who they run to Navy Pier. I hate going to Navy Pier. For what? Yeah. What am I going down there for? You know what I'm saying? Of course, when you're living somewhere, it's like okay, it is what it is. Versus a tourist. So,
yeah.
And I work on Michigan Avenue, and that is a shit show of tourists.
Oh yeah.
And I be trying to people standing there trying to take pictures. Like, motherfuckers, I'm trying to get home. Move out of my way. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. This is the largest Starbucks. I don't want. Look, let me go.
They have the largest Starbucks, and
they just opened up the world largest Starbucks a few months ago.
You see my face. I'm like, why?
It's huge.
That?
Because they were bored and needed to waste money, and the shit is still garbage.
Yeah, I'm not a Starbucks fan.
So my job is the brown building that sits right behind that, and it's so funny because the line when they first opened, the line was around the corner. I'm like, if y'all don't get y'all asses on my way so I can get home.
There is no reason for Starbucks, and even more so now. For Nigel, lives next door to a place that, well, basically, if a few stoners invented their own Starbucks, that's the coffee shop that Nigel lives in.
Yeah.
So Chalonda, so you see the brick wall behind me, right?
Yeah.
So there's a speakeasy on the other side of the wall. Wow. So since they can't do the speakeasies, so they opened downstairs. They had this. Let's just call it a coffee shop. Mm-hmm. So now you can go down there and they bottle the cocktails, and you can just take it with you. So it's all to go. So they're still cracking, but they have a coffee. It's a bourbon. What is it? What's it called, Nick?
Bourbon burnt sugar.
Bourbon burnt sugar latte, right?
Oh wow.
Delicious. But you know what I had them do? I said, put a shot of Four Roses in there.
Oh wow.
And so
that was the meeting that made this show happen.
That is true. That is true. We were down there on a Sunday morning.
Like 9:00 on a Sunday morning. And we threw 2 or 3 of those things down.
Like, let's do a podcast. So now it's called, so people go down there, now it's called the Nigel Coffee. Or as I like to call it the COVID coffee.
Oh, I didn't know you'd named it.
No, they named it the Nigel Coffee. I called it the COVID coffee. Because when I go in, I said, give me the COVID. And they know it's that coffee, and they'll take that Four Roses and be like, whoop, whoop.
Oh, wow.
Hold on. I'm going to show you a bottle real quick.
All right,
So they have all these
don't look.
cocktails. They have all these lovely cocktails at the bar. And so they were like, we should just bottle them up. So here we are with the espresso martini.
Ooh.
And it is
little
fantastic.
tiny bottles. So it's basically, one drink. And then they've got big bottles. So anyway, that's just What time?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Going at 6:00.
Uh-oh. I should probably pay attention to my family at some point today.
Yeah, I'm about to go finish up with dinner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate you coming on, girl.
Oh, thank you for having me anytime.
Yeah. We're literally, when this shit's over, we're coming to Chi-Town.
Hey, let me know.
We're gonna need a tour guide, and
Okay.
I feel like you're gonna be. Yeah, we're gonna do a show as well.
Okay, let me know. I'm down.
Nigel's gonna rent us one of those double-decker buses that we're gonna drive up from here.
He's like, no, not.
I mean, that sounds amazing, but it also sounds expensive.
Yeah. This is a low budget project.
Come on, Nick. Let's get that sponsors. Get the sponsors.
There we go. I thought that was your job.
I've already got a sponsor ready to sponsor this shit. Fringe. We got a brewery that wants to sponsor us.
Oh, that's dope.
Sort of.
Because he's, Nick's the podcast master. Because you have like 12 podcasts going on right now.
I have 3, and then I produce a handful of others.
Okay,
oh, wow.
So he's the podcast guru. So, he knows how to monetize. We're gonna try to monetize this shit.
Okay,
but chances are the monetary payment is gonna be beer. So,
which the
you
problem
already
is,
do it, Chalonda. You're already doing that shit. People sending you beer.
The problem is Nigel and I will say yes to that if they say, "Can we give you beer?"
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's no wrong answer.
No.
But again, my lady, we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you guys. I had fun.
Thank you, Chalonda. That was awesome.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. We'll do this again, but in person.
Okay, we'll do.
All right, love you, show.
Love you.
All
See ya.
right. See ya.
Bye.
You have been listening to Beers with Nigel, a show about beer and other stuff, hosted by Nigel Woodberry and that other guy, Nick Parker. Beers with Nigel is a proud member of the Fredcast Network, and it's available on your favorite podcast apps. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Beers with Nigel.